Hello, and welcome back to another conversation with me and my mum.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm okay, thank you. Yes.
Excellent.
Ready or not to start?
Ready and raring to go?
Ooh,
Nervous laugh.
Yes, I'm always nervous when I do these. I sort of warm up as I go along. Yeah, the nerves subside.
Exactly. Well, I think she's a natural. And the topic of today's video is, well, idioms, expressions. We all love expressions and idioms, so I've come up with 10 conversation questions which each include an idiom, and we're going to discuss these questions to provide you with some comprehensible input and listening practice. So that being said, Mum, shall we get cracking?
Yes, let's go.
Let's get the ball rolling. Question number 1, and it's related to bedtime and sleeping, and it is hit the sack, or you can also say hit the hay, and this expression means to go to bed, to go to sleep. So, Mum, last night it was Saturday night. What time did you hit the sack?
Well, I was a little bit shattered yesterday, so I went to bed. Well, no, I started to get ready for bed at about 9:30, so I thought it'd be really good, I'll have an early night. But the problem is that I get sidetracked. When I go upstairs, actually, I'll just look at my phone, somebody's message, I'll just reply, and then it's like, I just need to, and then it's like another hour until I actually go to bed, until I actually get into bed physically. But hey.
You see, it was interesting because I stayed in, I was watching TV here in the living room, and then Mum told me, I'm just going to go to bed. And I checked. I don't wear a watch, but I checked on my phone, and I was like, wait, it's 8:30. So...
No, it was 9. I was not that bad.
Well, yeah, you mentioned you get sidetracked, which is another way of saying you get distracted, basically, and you end up doing other stuff.
I do.
But hey, you hit the hay, you hit the sack relatively early.
Yes. Bruce, my husband, does complain actually, because he'll say, you need to start getting ready now. He said, because you'll always be another hour later than you say.
Aye. Moving on to question number 2, and let me just check my notes at the same time. It's using the expression cost an arm and a leg, which is another way of saying to cost a fortune, to be really expensive. So, Mum, what's the last thing that cost you an arm and a leg? And importantly, was it worth it?
I'll have to be careful what I say here as well.
Go on.
No, I don't actually buy things that are really, really expensive. I tend to buy more smaller things. Having said that, my husband, he's really, really into cycles, so he does buy the most expensive, what I call push bikes. So you could, the equate's the same as buying a motorbike, and they do cost an arm and a leg, but it keeps him fit. He's in his 60s, he's winning races, and actually the plus side is that I get to go along. So one of the races was in Cornwall, and it was lovely. So we just went and made it into a long weekend. So yeah, that's his vice. He spends a lot on those, but everybody needs a treat.
I mean,
big treat.
It keeps him fit. Of course, the bikes are expensive. They cost an arm and a leg, but it keeps him busy. It's a hobby. It's a passion.
It is.
You get to tag along sometimes to go with him on these little trips. So maybe it's worth it.
Some bits can be a bit boring when it's just going round doing different laps, but I've lots of nice friends I've met there, so we just basically chat in between. It's all good.
It's all good. Question number 3, and this is an expression which means to be really, really happy, to be over the moon or on cloud 9. So, Mum, what makes you feel on cloud 9?
I mean, to me, on cloud 9 is a little bit over the top. It's like, yay!
Woohoo!
Yeah, and I'm more like this, really. But hey, I would say yes. the thing that I can think of mostly is when I had you and your sister.
Aww.
I mean, yeah. No, you know, that you've given birth, the pain stopped, you've got this perfect, well, you think this perfect baby, you know, the healthy, and it's that relief. So I would say yes, to have a newborn that you know that they've come out safely and everything's okay. That is to be on cloud nine, personally for me.
And a relief as well.
Absolutely.
It's like, it's over. The 9 months of being pregnant is over. The day of giving birth is over. Yeah. So it's just like, phew, thank God that's over.
And I think as well, because obviously, you know, it's a long time ago. So basically, we didn't have as many checks. And so, you always sort of thought, I hope everything's okay. And then when they come out and you hear that first scream, you just think, yes, they're okay.
Okay, perfect. So I made my mum be on cloud 9. Okay, now as the sun is coming out, we move on to our 4th question, and it's related to breaking the ice. And if you break the ice, it's like you cut the tension or the awkwardness, this feeling of being uncomfortable when you're meeting someone or you're seeing them. So this is breaking the ice. But Mum, if you are in one of these scenarios, one of these situations, how do you normally break the ice?
Well, actually, I am quite shy, which is strange that I'm doing this, but this is in the comfort of my own home, so it's okay. Yeah. But yeah, when I meet people for the first time, I am quite nervous. But then if somebody else appears nervous, then I want to put them at ease, so I might make a little bit of a joke. I met somebody recently, a lovely lady, and she came to shake my hand, and I just sort of like, oh, you know, it's okay, you know, we don't have to be so formal. And I just sort of reached in for just a quick hug. I mean, I'd never invade somebody's space. If somebody was like, whoa, you know, but that just made her more comfortable. And then we just sort of chatted, and usually I'm sort of quite self-deprecating. I sort of make fun of myself. Which is quite easy. So, yeah, just try and put people at ease.
I mean, that's a classic example of maybe going in for a hug or making a joke, usually at your own expense. It's quite a common thing that a lot of British people do naturally. Yes. I think we're quite good at putting ourselves down and self-deprecating, as my mum said. But other common examples would be talking about the weather, talking about what you did at the weekend, how's work, how's the family. Lots of these classic small talk questions can sometimes help to break the ice. And then from there, you can usually feel more comfortable, get to know the person, and have a good time. Because again, it's like, all right, phew, now I can relax. Yes. The ice is broken.
Yes, my biggest worry is that they'll tell me something and then I'll forget all the names. You know, of like, oh yes, my daughter or my son, and I'm like trying to remember in my head.
You see, this is the great thing about online classes, because when I used to teach in person, I was quite good at remembering people's names because I tried to repeat the names over and over again until it started to click. But nowadays, if I'm about to forget one of my students' names, then I just have a look and their name is right there in the Zoom call or the Google Meet. So I'm like, John, perfect. Yeah, how are you?
I suppose that's when you're getting like a lot of new clients as well, because I mean, you do build up quite a nice relationship with them as well. I can hear you laughing. Sometimes when I can hear you're in a class in the other room, I can hear you laughing, which is lovely.
No, absolutely. I usually have a lot of fun when I'm teaching. Of course, if I'm really, really tired, then I'll have to have a little cup of coffee before I get started to give me a bit of an energy boost. But then once I get started, then I usually have a great time, and I hope my students have a great time as well. Now, question number 5, and the idiom in question is once in a blue moon. And this means very rarely, not very often. So for example, something that I do once in a blue moon is go to a nightclub, because I feel lazy about it now. So bars, perfect. But going to a nightclub, it's not me. It's not my cup of tea. It's not my thing. So I go to clubs once in a blue moon. But Mum, what do you do once in a blue moon?
Well, I think the last thing we did once in a blue moon, we went to see Gregory Porter, who was an American sort of, maybe jazz, you would say, jazz singer, songwriter, musician, over at Leeds Arena, and it was fantastic. He was really, really good. It's partly because it's expensive, so, you know, we don't do it all the time. And it just makes it more of an occasion as well. If you don't do something all the time, it just makes it a little bit more special, because then you can combine it with an evening meal. I mean, yeah, it was good. It was really nice, and it felt really secure at the venue. You know, everyone was searched as they went in, and then, you know, you're walking at a bar, and it was just a really nice, good night out. Yeah. Singing along, a bit of clapping. Well, not me singing along really. I'm more of the, I'll join in with the clapping, yes. But he was really good because he engaged the audience as well. So yes, once in a blue moon, we'll go and we'll see somebody.
I have no idea who this guy is, by the way.
Oh, he's fantastic.
He's probably really, really famous, but as you might know, I'm not that into music. I'm not a big music buff. I don't know everybody.
Google Gregory Porter.
I'll Google it and I'll check it out, and let us know in the comments if you know who Gregory Porter is. Let us know.
It's worth listening to him.
I'm sure it is. I'll check it out. And also, let us know, what's the last concert, the last gig that you went to? Because the last one I went to was kind of more of a festival, which is called Rock Venture, which is just north of Brussels in Belgium. And there, I like going to festivals because you've got the choice of lots of different gigs at the same time. And it's a day out, hopefully with good weather, where you can get some food, you can wander around. And yeah, that's the last gig that I went to. What's the last gig that you went to? Now, question number 6. The idiom is to be on the same page. We could also say to see eye to eye, or be on the same wavelength. And this, well, it means to agree, to have similar views or opinions. So this is a funny question. Mum, do you, well, are you and Dad normally on the same page? Do you normally see eye to eye?
No, actually, no. Yes, we do. We do. Yes, on the major things we do. I would say that we are quite different in other things. Maybe the little things we don't always sort of see eye to eye or enjoy. Like, I love to get all the family round to cook, to have everybody round and celebrate. And Bruce is a bit more like, nah, too busy, too much fuss. Like Christmas, you know. I mean, it's just like he's the Grinch. Oh bless, I love him to bits, honestly. But you know, I like the whole, you know, getting presents for people, that something they'd really like, and putting the effort into it. And Bruce is like, oh, just get my shirt on, which is what I usually get your dad now, because hey,
it's solid.
It's just, can't go wrong. So, but yes, on major things, on big decisions, we're definitely on the same page. I mean, goodness, we've been together almost, well, 43 years, I think it is.
It's a long time.
Yeah, tell me about it. Coming up to a 40th wedding anniversary, so we must be on the same page to last this long.
Absolutely. And I don't know if you remember, if you watched one of these previous videos with me and my mum that was posted, I think, a couple of weeks ago. Mum used a nice expression as well, related to my mum and dad, which was, they're like chalk and cheese, which I explained back then, but I'll explain it again. If two people are like chalk and cheese, it just means they are opposites. But as I said back then, opposites attract. Question number 7, and it is with the expression throw in the towel, which is another way of saying to give up. I think it comes from boxing, when you see that a boxer is losing and they should quit. Maybe their trainer, their coach will throw a towel in the ring to show that, well, they quit, they can't continue. So, Mum, have you ever thrown in the towel and given up with anything?
Well, sometimes people think that the grass is greener, that something is better than what they've already got. I mean, even like in marriage, you know, I mean, because we have been married so long, I mean, every marriage there's little bits where you think, oh, I'm not sure, and this might be more exciting, but you just keep going, and most of the time it's fab. And sometimes you just can't give up. Having said that, there is no shame in realising that something isn't for you. And years ago, I decided, I don't know why, that I've been really interested in doing A-level psychology. And I did about 4 weeks, and it just wasn't my bag. It wasn't for me at all. It was just essay, and it just wasn't as interesting as I thought it would be. But obviously, I paid for a full course, which was quite expensive. So I looked at the options, and the options I chose to do a cookery course, which is completely different to psychology.
Sounds more fun.
It was more fun. We loved it. And I felt dreadful for the tutor, but I just explained that, I don't know what my conception, what my ideas were that it would be. I thought it'd be all like really interesting chatting, but it was just way too academic to just do as a night school, as something to enjoy, because I basically wasn't enjoying it. So then I swapped, and we'd made lovely food and we get to eat it. So it was a win-win.
It's a no-brainer by the sounds of it.
So I kind of threw in the towel, but yeah, there's no shame in that. Sometimes you just have to decide that, yes, you just need to stop and go off in a different direction.
It sounds like you made the right choice. Like, if it was up to me, what would you prefer, to cook and eat food or write essays about psychology? I know what I'd be choosing, and related to that as well. Well, first, it's not my bag. You use this expression, which it means it's not my cup of tea, I'm not into it, I don't like it, so psychology wasn't your bag. But what I was going to mention is that when I was at school in sixth form doing my A-levels as well, I chose biology, sport and Spanish and business, with the idea in mind that business will be really exciting because it's about real businesses and what they do and how they make money and how they operate. And it was all theory. It was boring. I had to write essays as well. So in this case, I did the same as you. I threw in the towel, and after a year, I was like, no, I don't want to keep going with business because it was boring.
Yeah. Do you wish you had now? No.
Maybe I should have. Who knows? Question number 8. And the idiom is to sit on the fence, which is like to be on the fence. And if you're on the fence or you sit on the fence, it means you don't take a side. You're a little bit indecisive, maybe. You don't want to clearly show that you are in favor of one side or the other. So, that being said, when it comes to arguments, debates, discussions, do you normally take sides or do you sit on the fence?
Well, I hate confrontation.
Me too.
Yeah, we neither of us. And I would never argue for the sake of arguing. Some people enjoy it, and you can debate, which is entirely different. I think everybody's entitled to their opinion, and as long as you're not hurting anybody or unkind for the sake of it, then I'm quite happy to agree to disagree with someone and do it really nicely like that. If I felt very strongly, I would say, I really would, or if I felt somebody was being really unreasonable, then I wouldn't sit on the fence. But generally speaking, I do respect that everybody has a right to their own opinion. It might not be mine, but mine's not necessarily better. So, yeah.
I mean, at the same time, everybody can have their own opinions, and as long as you kind of show your opinion and argue your point in a nice, polite, reasonable way without raising your voice or getting angry and showing aggression and...
Oh, yeah, I'd be out of there if it was aggressive, but if not...
discussions, debates, I think are a good thing to be able to know how other people feel. Absolutely. And that way you can put yourself in their shoes and understand why they have a certain opinion. And maybe you disagree with their opinion, but you don't have to get angry. You don't have to hate them. We can all get along, and we don't have to always take sides, and we don't have to get aggressive about it.
And you might learn something,
Exactly.
something which you didn't know. It might open your eyes to something. So, yeah.
But yeah, both of us clearly don't like confrontation.
No, I'm not a shouter. No, it's just not in my makeup.
Me neither. Question number 9, the penultimate one, and it is with your comfort zone. So to be out of your comfort zone is when you're in a situation, a scenario that is uncomfortable for you. So let's use it in conversation. Mum, wait, what was the question? Are you ever in situations when you are out of your comfort zone? Right now, maybe.
Yes, absolutely. Right now, doing videos. I'm such a private person that I don't really put things out there. So yes, this is completely out of my comfort zone, but hey. Another is flying. I mean, I fly on a plane. It's it's
necessary
doable.
sometimes.
It's necessary. I will do it to go and see you. Obviously, it's not something I enjoy. Sometimes you can't not do something just because you don't like it. I mean, I still marvel how a plane actually stays up there. I mean, I know.
Engineering, it's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, I know, but it's just still, the weight of it. I'm just sort of thinking, there's 35,000 feet below us. How does this work? And motorway driving, that's the last one, the biggie. So like when I pick you up from the airport, it's, but yeah, it's just, if not, you would just not do anything. So you have to go out of your comfort zone. If I didn't, I would just stay at home. I wouldn't go on a motorway, so I'd be on country lanes. And it's necessary to be out of your comfort zone. Not enjoyable.
Yeah, I agree. I think maybe you can get used to it if you practice regularly making videos, for example, or flying on a regular occasion, motorway driving every other day, then I think you would overcome this fear, maybe,
possibly.
and you'd become used to it, and it wouldn't be then this big daunting experience. But I think even when it comes to learning a language, a lot of the time you have to go out of your comfort zone in order to become more fluent, because if not, you're just going to be speaking to yourself in the mirror or speaking with ChatGPT, for example. But I think you really make progress with languages, and for that matter, almost anything, when you are out of your comfort zone, and that helps you to grow as an individual as well. But of course, it's much easier said than done, obviously.
I mean, when you talk about languages, because obviously I've been trying to learn Spanish for years, and I'm okay at it, but then to talk to somebody who is fluent and is, Spaniard would just make me feel really out of my comfort zone, because I'm just thinking, what mistakes am I making? And then I forget the words, and then afterwards I'm like, oh yes, it's this or it's that, but in the moment it's just like
and that would then be very memorable. So then you'd think, now I know that is called that, and I say it in this way. But yeah, you can do it, Mum.
I can, and I need to. I must do it more.
Vamos!
Vamos!
Okay, now we have the final question, and it's a nice common expression related to, well, being sick, being poorly, being ill, and it is under the weather. If you feel or you are under the weather, it means you're a little bit sick. Nothing major, but you're a little bit poorly. So, Mum, when was the last time you were under the weather?
It was probably Easter time, because I do remember I had a really, really bad cough, and we did try and do some videos then, and I couldn't stop coughing. We had to just abandon it, didn't we? Generally speaking, I'm quite healthy, but then because I look after my grandson and he goes to nursery, and I pick him up, and he's not even 2 yet, so he doesn't cover his mouth when he coughs, he doesn't blow his nose properly yet, and I pick him up and I'm thinking, right, so next week I'm going to have a cold. And sure enough, I do. Thankfully, we haven't gone on to the sickness bugs yet. I'm sure that will be at one point.
It's coming.
Yeah, but generally, I'm, touch wood, not a poorly person.
Excellent. Good genes, a good immune system. Hopefully, I've taken after you. Hopefully, you've passed that on to me, because I'm hardly ever under the weather, to be honest. Sometimes I'll get a little bit of a cough, or sometimes, I don't know, I'll feel a little bit tired. But usually I think I eat well, I exercise, I'm not too stressed most of the time, so that helps me to stay fit and strong. So I'm very rarely under the weather. I rarely come down with a cold or any sicknesses. So again, as you said, touch wood, let's hope it stays that way. And on that note, we can wrap it up. We can finish off. So if you've made it this far, let me know. When was the last time you were under the weather? And also the question I asked you earlier about gigs, concerts. So what was the last gig you went to? And well, that's it. Another successful video finished, right?
Not sure about successful, just listening to me, but hey, thank you. If you are still listening, thank you. And if not, that's fine too.
Thank you very much, everybody, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.